Hello, what's up guys? How you doing? It is Lasty here. Welcome to Sunday, welcome to Random Pick Day on the channel. Now, what I've got for you today are a set of rules where we're going to be picking up any old gold item or special item, depending on what comes up, but the budget is going to be between 100 and 150,000 coins. Buy it now. So hopefully we'll get someone that is actually, well, we'll get 3 players that are actually pretty expensive. Now on page number 4, I think the most interesting player on that page, I nearly went Lukaku because I haven't used him for ages, but then I want to use Roberto Firmino in a slightly deeper role, and I get him right here in a centre mid, and I'm like, you know what, that's where I'm going to use him today, see how well he plays in a centre mid position. And if you do enjoy today's episode, guys, do me a favour, hit the thumbs up button. Let's try and push towards 1,000 likes on today's episode. On page 10, I went with Aubameyang because, to be honest, I just really wanted to use the pace that he offers to see how good he is on Ultimate Team. Again, someone that I don't use necessarily like that often, and he destroys me whenever I come up against him. So we're going to try out Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang today and see how good he is. And then actually someone from the same league as him, and who's also very pacey, we have Kingsley Coman. Now, both of them are right next to each other there. The left mid inform or the right wing path to glory. I've decided to go with the path to glory today because I had an idea. Once I saw him on there and I wanted to use him, had a kind of idea of what the sort of squad I wanted to use, and I knew that it was going to involve Royce at left forward. So I used in the right-sided version of Coman. So this is what we're going to use today, 4-3-2-1. I guess it's a relatively common formation here on my channel because it's one of the more solid ones on the game. And of course, it's easy to get a few different leagues into one squad. The chemistry in this formation is actually pretty solid. So this is where I'm going to be playing everyone. Right centre mid for Firmino, right forward for Coman, obviously, and then out and out lone striker for Aubameyang. And the squad around them looks a little bit like this. So we've got Ederson in goal. You would not believe how many times I play against Ederson. I think everyone uses him at this point. He is one of the most overpowered keepers on this game. I actually think he's ridiculous. So that's why I use him as much as possible as well. I've got Fatmas Koulibaly. You could use the inform Koulibaly for about 40 to 50,000 coins. And then also David Luiz. And then for chemistry reasons, I've brought in Nathaniel Klein and also Gulam at left back. So they're like not first choice players, but to be honest, they both do a pretty good job. And I quite like them in the squad. And now moving on into the centre midfielders then. We've got the 89 rated League SBC Hamsik. And then Tolisso. Just a little point to note is that if you were to use the inform Koulibaly and then regular Hamsik, this whole squad is around 500,000 coins, pretty much to the penny. So this is a good 500k option if you haven't got the League SBC Koulibaly, Hamsik, sorry. So our first random pick player today is Bobby Firmino. This is his first special item in team of the group stage. 85 rated with 88 dribbling and 85 shooting. I haven't always gotten along with him at striker, so that's why the reason I'm going to play him slightly further back today. See if he can do pulling the strings and stuff and getting some nice passes and assists for us today, whereas normally he's kind of like an out-and-out goal scorer for me, but it doesn't quite work. Where we have then got Kingsley Coman as our second random pick player today. 94 pace, 87 dribbling and 80 shooting. This guy has been boosted once, of course, with his first inform. And hopefully it would be awesome if he did get more, because this would become one seriously overpowered card if he got more and more informs along the way. And then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, our third and final random pick player today. 96 pace. As standard by default. That's just nuts. 81 dribbling, 84 shooting on this 6'2" attacker. That is why he is so very good on the game, because he's got height and pace. That makes for a bit of a beast up front, not gonna lie. So yeah, we've got a lot of pace in the squad. Like the centre backs are quick. Even my midfielders, I feel like Bobby Firmino with 80 pace at centre mid, that's quick. And obviously Marco Royce has got quite a lot of speed about him as well. So moving on into the clips, in the few games that we were able to play, I scored tons and tons and tons of goals. Like, they were all high-scoring matches, which one doesn't bode super well for like my goalkeeper, because there was one game here, I think I ended up losing it like 6-5 in extra time. It was full of delay, and I realised I hadn't restarted my internet in ages, and I was legit getting like a whole second delay in some of my button presses, which is horrible if you've ever played that, especially in like the daily knockout tournament system, because you don't get like spiky lag, you get actual button delay because it's dedicated servers, right? And that has got to be one of the more frustrating ways to play, when you actually press buttons and it doesn't work, and then something different happens in the game and you didn't expect it to. But yeah, once I restarted the net, I felt like my flow was back. You could actually play the game how you want to play it, but I was still conceding goals left, right and centre. So Ederson maybe didn't do a fantastic job for me this time, but normally, well, I don't know, actually, because I felt like he made a couple of really key saves. So maybe it was just a case of he still let goals in because I was defending terribly. Maybe I put the blame on the defenders. You know, David Luiz, super aggressive. Koulibaly feels kind of aggressive as well to me. And we don't have a huge amount of pace in the fullbacks to really help cover them if they do go pushing forward and stuff. So, yeah, like I guess I would put the blame mostly on my defenders rather than the goalie, because a lot of the time Ederson does pull out absolute worldies. And I can think of a couple from actually playing this, even though he let in a whole bunch of goals. In the midfield then, I loved it. You know, Tolisso is just one of them rock solid players. He's going to do a good job. Like, he's not going to do an amazing job, but he will, like, just be pretty good on the game and pretty solid. So I like that about him. And then, of course, we have Hamšík, who is a complete and utter beast in that centre mid spot. I've actually played him at, like, cam a couple of times, and he gets super involved. 5-star weak foot, great long shot ability and stuff. But then if you just bring him back a little bit to centre mid, he becomes more of the hard working centre mid that actually, like, one, helps pull the strings with his great passing ability. Two, has a bit of physical presence about him. He's not super strong, but he does well, put his weight about a little bit in midfield, and he has the tackling ability to block out a few of those passes. Interceptions are pretty good, I find, in game. And then Bobby Firmino, one of our random pick players. How does he perform in game? Well, I've got to say, I much prefer him as a centre mid. It's going to come out today when we get back to the player bio that I got a couple of assists with him and no goals. And normally, if he was up front, that would be an abysmal performance. But to be fair, this guy actually did work in centre mid. Like, he's not great physically, and he won't do more of a defensive mid role, but that's not what I've got him there for at all. I've got him in a centre mid spot, which hopefully pushes forward to Cam and really gets involved and becomes like a third or even fourth attacker, because we've already got the three up front in this one. And he did that really well. Like, a couple of assists, loads and loads of key passes, utilising his 4-star skill moves in the centre midfield spot was good, because it opened up a lot of space, brought defenders out to then come and try and tackle me once I'd taken on one or two, which then led to gaps in the defence for me to play it through to the strike force. And then, of course, we move up to our attackers. Marco Reus was just outstanding for this team. The runs he makes and the ability he's got with his shooting is kind of like second to none. I wish he had better stamina on this game so that he could last a little bit longer, because you definitely find that he goes missing towards the end. But where he sort of dies down, we obviously have two very pacey players up front in Kingsley Coman and in Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, which are all going to do work the whole entire game. Coman seems like rapid. Absolutely rapid, and Aubameyang does too, and he's actually quicker than Coman, but for some reason the Frenchman felt a little bit quicker to me. Whether or not he's got better stamina and seems to last a little bit longer, or whether his acceleration is better or something, for some reason it seemed to be Coman down the wing that was causing the problems, and then Aubameyang sprinting to catch up to him, getting in the right spots to either drag a defender out or to end up being in the right space to put the ball into the back of the net. So those were the clips. We scored loads and loads of goals, of course. Like I mentioned, like, Ederson is pretty good. He did concede a fair few for me today. And then, well, my defenders is where I'm going to place the blame on why I conceded a fair bit. By the way, my camera's flashing at me. I hope the face cam doesn't end. We've only got about a minute left, of course, here today. But if it does, it will just cut out. I do apologise. So not a lot of love for Nathaniel Klein or Gulam. Like, yeah, they kind of do their job all right. But I'm not going to be out there trying to purchase them again to stick into a squad anytime soon unless I have to for chemistry reasons. Into the midfield then, I can't help but I can't help but absolutely love Tolisso just for how good he is as a gold centre midfielder. And then, of course, Hamsik does a fantastic job as well. So for Mino in the midfield, I'm going to give him a 4-star value for money and an 8 out of 10 because... yeah, it's a better position for him. I think maybe overall Cam would be the one. That would be where he really showcases his talent the most. But as a centre midfielder, did a really good job for me today. So a nice above average rating for him. Moving on up to the attack then, we have Marco Reus, who I think, as I said, performed brilliantly. And I just wish he had more stamina. But loads of pace and shooting ability for him. Kingsley Coman then gets a 4-star value for money, 8.5 out of 10. This one's quite expensive at 115,000 coins. I think you'll find his left mid inform is actually a lot cheaper than that. And obviously that's because this one is 1, a different position, and 2, would increase with future informs, which is obviously a big selling point for that. And then, of course, we have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. I'm going to go 4.5-star value for money, 9 out of 10. He just does score all the goals and is very, very clinical in front of goal. Worked really well with his partnership of Reus and Coman. It was great. And then Firmino feeding in the balls to them as well. I actually really like this team, and I think it performed just right. So it's one that I would recommend that you guys buy because, you know, it did well for me. Perhaps you could get the inform version of Gulam, not Koulibaly. That was a mixture between Koulibaly and Gulam. Inform Gulam at left back might help you out a little bit there. But I do hope you've enjoyed. If you have, smash a thumbs up. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And of course, I'll catch you next time. Peace.